Webbot update here on my phone, and I know sometimes it seemed like my phone just audio cuts out. Hopefully it doesn't cut out. It hasn't cut out in a while. First off, the Webbot hit. About a month ago, they were talking about the Space Goats Farts entity, which is basically anything with aliens, UFOs, outer space, stuff we don't know about, space related. Talked about it being on a Max Kaiser show coming in the future. And sure enough, the one the other day, there was like a UFO thing in the background flying by or something. It was really weird. Whatever, but, you know, to be on the Max Kaiser show at all. It was a spectacular Webbot hit. Not that it really meant much of anything, but it just goes to show you that this thing in a month in advance saw this, and it nailed it. This is one of those spectacular Webbot hits. And again, it's not like, oh, great, the price of silver is $300 today. That would be a great Webbot hit to report on right now. That's not what this is. But it shows you the Webbot does get stuff right in an incredible way that it could not have ever have known normally. So, having said that, if you go to halfpasthuman.com and click on the Wujo, the June 22nd one, which is the one I was listening to recently, I've also got the Webbot report that he's starting to do the Alta reports again. I have not listened to it yet. I will be doing a big update on that, see what that has to say. But this Wujo I listened to, he talked about that Webbot hit, but he also talked about gold and silver. It's absolutely coming. The prices are absolutely going to go up. And he said, you know, long ago we talked about gold and silver, that ratio, which at the time was 70-1, meaning it took 70 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. It has since come down. At one point it was down to 35 or so to 1, by the way. And I think that was when it was around $49 silver in 2011. It's gone back up to the 60s, etc. I'm not even sure where it's at right now. It's probably around 60 or so to 1. Roughly, I don't really know, because I haven't done the calculation just yet, but, he talked about a rare earth metal, another precious metal, basically. He's thinking it might be palladium or platinum, something like that, where there's a shortage that's probably happening now. It's just not really reported because not many of us are really into that. We're into gold and silver, but it looks like it's going to be coming out where there's this precious metals shortage, but he thinks it's like a super, precious metal, such as like palladium or platinum. But he also got back into gold and silver. There's going to absolutely be, a big economic collapse is coming. And he said it's not going to be like one thing we deal with, like, oh, it's just the bond market collapsing, or oh, it's just the derivatives blowing up, or oh, it's going to be, it may start off with one of those, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, oh my God, now that the bond market blew up, now the stock market's blowing up, and then another 2 or 3 weeks later, oh my God, the derivatives bubble's blowing up, which may cause the stock market crash, the heavy duty crash. There's no telling. Generally speaking, you might as well say it's all fixing to happen, roughly around the same time, all these things. And he said that absolutely positively, Webbot and all is still seeing the ratio of silver to gold, which was 70-1 at one time. Right now it's probably around 60, maybe a little more, I'm not sure, to 1 with gold, is absolutely coming down to like 12-1, 15-1, roughly the norm of thousands of years of history, which is usually around 16-1. He said, but during that wild swing and people understanding and finally seeing the precious metals breaking out unbelievably, you're going to have the wild swing. So you may see 8-1, 6-1, 1-1 with gold. And if gold's $3,000 an ounce at the time, let's just say, forget it. Let's just say, like right now, they're smashing the precious metals today. I've looked at the pre-market of the bank stocks and everything else, and they're actually a tiny bit in the green. Right now, gold and silver are getting another smashing. Silver's down 78 cents, and I think gold's down, I don't even know, actually, I'm like 20, 25 bucks, something like that, I'm not even sure. So, silver is actually $18 and some change, like $18.79 right now. This is why literally the other day, I said, I know we talked about backing the truck up and loading it up with silver, so to speak. In other words, use the credit card, max it out. But I said, you may want to hang on. Because what if they keep pushing the price down? Go ahead and buy a nice little purchase like I did the other day. Like I said, Jason at Ford just got 26 ounces of silver. And I do have the wife's credit cards on standby. Haven't touched them yet. as I told her, I said, you remember back in 08, 09, when we had that $10 silver, and it was already 13, 14, 15, it was up to 20 at one time. I got caught playing a futures contract back then. I didn't know better myself. I admit this, and I've already told you that. They smashed the price from $20 down to 17. Took my whole account out, $3,300, something like that. Gone. Margin call. Have a nice day. I'm like, what the hell happened here? You know, didn't know anything. Started doing my research. Here I am today with a complete understanding of how it all works. And knowing that it was at 20 and went down to 10 very shortly, I capitalized a little bit on that with my friend at work at the time. And I said, Evelyn, if this is my wife, Evelyn, if this ever happens again, now that we've seen $49 silver, and I even bought some, I think, at $43, $44. I bought some in the 30s. I bought some in the 20s. I bought some at 10, 12, 13, 15, 18. I've been all over the place. I said, you know, we're going to have to, like, really hit at least one of the credit cards, max it out, literally. And we'll pay it off. I'm not going to default on it. It's your credit card. You've got good credit. We need that. It could help, of course, in the future. You need credit. We'll pay it off. But I'm going to hang on to this and wait and see how low they push silver and gold. Because I've told you, I've always kind of thought that the SLV paper silver, it's a stock, basically, the iShares Silver Trust. It's tied to JP Morgan. It's the bankers, and they don't have the silver. I don't think they ever had the silver. And then their prospectus, it clearly states we can close down the SLV for any reason we want, market conditions, anything. And ultimately what happens is they issue paper money back to you with whatever the price of silver is today, times however many shares you have, and say, we're closing on SLV, here's the payoff, get lost. You never get silver, you don't get anything. So if you got into SLV at $20, $25, $30, $40, back down to $30, and you've been putting money like an investment, like these people do, even with 401ks, you can put it in there, and you're just dumping your money and now it's down to $18, $17, $16, $15. Let's say at $15, iSilver's Trust, SLV, okay, we've had enough, we're closing the doors. All they have to do is pay you back however many shares you've been buying over all these years at today's market price. But you were buying at $40, you were buying in the $30 range, you were buying in the high 20s, the mid 20s, the low 20s, and now it's $15, and all of a sudden we're closing down shop. They don't have to pay you back when you bought $40, you bought it at $30. They only have to pay you, if you bought 700 shares, in other words, 700 ounces, so to speak, of silver when it was from $20 to $30 to $40, $49, back all over the place, you've accumulated 700 shares. And let's just say you've cost averaged at $30, right? $30 an ounce is where you're totally in at this thing. Because you've bought in the 40s, the 30s, the 20s, etc. You're in at $30 an ounce. Times 700, 7 times 30, 21, you would have $21,000 invested. But at $15 an ounce, that's half that money. That's all they have to give you back if they close down shop at $15 silver. Therefore, they took your money, never bought the silver with it to begin with, claimed that they did, never did, pocketed all of the cash the whole time, so it's not like they're even out silver. They never had it to begin with. And it's finished, and then they pay everybody off, up $15 an ounce, and they made all the massive profit back when it was $40, $30, $20, and they escaped. There's nothing you can do. It's in the prospectus. You're not going to be able to make them prove to you that they physically bought the silver because they can just make up some phony receipts. It doesn't matter. This is why you have to have physical silver in your possession, because if they do that, guys like me and you who I hope have been buying physical silver can sit and say, oh my God, this is a blessing in disguise. Thanks, JP Morgan. Now I'm going to max out the credit card at $15 silver, get even more silver, and you know what? Maybe it'll go down to $11, $10, and damn it, I missed that, but that's okay. I got in at 15. And then it skyrockets, $20, $40, $60, $80, $200 silver. All of you in the SLV, you don't get any of that. You already got paid out at $15, go pound sand. It's in their control, it's in their system. That is why you have got to get out of their system. Buying physical silver is completely out of their system. They cannot control and manipulate you with your silver. They can change the price, But when they go down in price, you just go and buy more, which is slowly defeating their system because they are running out of silver, as we've seen multiple times in the past 6 months. Matter of fact, I'll call it 7 months because we'll go back to December of 2012 when it really started, the shortages. Short again by January, and then again a few months later. And here we are today with record-breaking low price. Not record-breaking, but in recent times, record-breaking low prices. It's now $18 some change. My credit card is on standby. Yours should be too. Yeah, it's not good to get into debt, but can you imagine getting into debt by using a credit card, buying silver extremely low, and then it exploding to the upside? You take a small portion of that silver, sell it, pay off the credit card in full, and still have quite a bit more silver left over that you used the credit card for. That's the point here. Webbot is saying it is on like Donkey Kong. It is still coming. Have patience. Price of silver is going way up. So is gold, but silver is going to do you way better than gold as far as performance. So put all your money into silver as opposed to gold or anything else. When I get the new Webbot report listened to, because he's not actually submitting it as a report anymore, it's actually an audio, I'm going to go listen to it and take my notes like I normally would do when I would read it and take notes. This time I'm going to have to listen to him and then take notes and give you a complete Webbot update. So that's all I got for right now. Stay tuned and be on standby furthermore to buy more silver. Take care.